Yes. Question number 442, Sri Ashok Chavan ji.
Speaker, Madam, question number 442.
Supplement.
Madam Speaker, as SEBI has mandated that the listed companies should appoint at least one woman director on their board, and the guidelines have been laid in the Act accordingly. But in spite of that, it has been observed that a large number of companies have not been able to appoint women directors on their boards. Leave alone the private companies. Also, many public sector undertakings like the Bharat Petroleum Corporation, the NTPC, the ONGC, several nationalized banks, we see a large number of vacancies of women directors in spite of the mandate of SEBI that they have to appoint women directors within a specific period of time. In some companies, we see that mostly relatives of the owners have been appointed on their boards. It's a matter of mere tokenism to show that they have appointed some women director. We have already have some specific guidelines regarding fines to be levied on those respected companies who have not been able to make these nominations within the specified period. I would like to know from the Minister, what are the difficulties being faced by these companies in appointing because fine is not the solution, only solution to this issue. Fine is ultimate step to be taken that in spite of the provisions they have not been able to do so. Yes. But there is some problem regarding appointment of women directors. Has the government been able to discuss with the concerned organizations what is the difficulty in appointing the women directors and what exactly is being done by the government to enable women to reach this top slot to be appointed on the board?
Yes, please.
Honourable member has asked a very relevant question with regards to the functioning of corporate boards, and of course the government has been vigilant in this matter. SEBI in fact published the guidelines which said that by April 15th that all public companies should have at least one woman director. And the facts as of now, as far as listed companies are concerned, is that we have 1,624 companies that are listed on the National Stock Exchange, and there are now 1,361 companies that have complied with that, so that there is now only 16% of the companies that don't have a woman director, number one. Number two, where we look at the Bombay Stock Exchange, which is the other large stock exchange in the country, which in fact has a very large number of listed companies, 5,305. There the numbers are not quite as good, where we have a 38% vacancy rate in terms of having a woman director. Now, of course, SEBI has levied fines saying that you have to pay a fine of 50,000 rupees if you don't have a woman director. And then by June 30th, those fines increase so that you have to pay 1,000 rupees a day. And then after September 30th, the fines increase again. So we have sent out a very strong message that this is something that is a matter of public policy, that we would like to have women directors on board. And I'd like to suggest to honourable members that in fact it is very good for India if we have a lot of other lady directors on the boards, because all the research the world over has shown is that when we have women directors on boards, the functioning of these boards improve. And in fact, there's research to show that it is in fact it's in the company's best interest to have diversity, to have women directors, because the performance of these companies improves. So there is a lot of research, a lot of management experts, academics have studied this and have presented these facts both to SEBI as well as to these companies. And because obviously we are in a democracy and in a market economy, we can impose these rules, we can impose these penalties, but we hope that it is the good sense of these companies, these corporate boards will prevail, and they'll very quickly add this very significant source of talent to their boards as well.
Yes, second.
My question was very specific and the Minister has not replied to what I had asked for. I said, what is the difficulty the companies are facing in appointing women directors was my specific question. But anyway, ma'am, the issue is that there's no dearth of talent in this country to appoint women directors. But you see that most of them land up in jobs of the HRD or the PR or CSR. These are most of the responsibilities being taken by women. My question would be that in spite of the talent being available, what policy decisions being taken by the government to promote this talent and see that women are appointed at the board level? That's my question. And secondly, is in view of the large number of companies who have still not appointed women directors, is the government considering increasing the deadline to see that these appointments are made.
Madam Speaker, Honourable Member wants to know what is it that the government can do and what are the challenges faced by companies to add women to their boards. Now, obviously, as I said, there are a large number of companies. There are 1,600 companies listed on the National Stock Exchange. There are 5,300 companies listed on the Bombay Stock Exchange. Obviously, this is a methodical, deliberative process that these companies have to undertake to ensure that they have capable, competent people on their boards. And in addition to that, they have to go through a vetting process because we want to make sure that there are capable directors. This is a lengthy process. Certainly, as far as the public sector companies are concerned, we are going through that vetting process because I think all honourable members will agree that we want really eminent and well-qualified and capable people with impeccable, high-integrity track records on these boards. That process will take some time. Now, SEBI, of course, has, in fact, imposed a deadline, has suggested that this should be done as quickly as possible, and there is a sliding scale by which penalties will increase. But I can assure you, having spoken to many people in the corporate sector about this matter, they are charged with this issue. They absolutely want to appoint good people to their boards, and they're working very hard to do that. Now, with each company and with each industry, there are different factors that come into play as to whom they want to appoint, but that in a market economy is their prerogative as to whom they appoint on their boards and how and when they do so. We can only guide and indicate. After that, it is the responsibility of the companies also to do that.
Sri Sudhir